Hello, beautiful people. My name's Kristen. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today, I am kind of doing a end of the year TBR. It's kind of a December TBR, but we're already a week in. I am currently reading 3 books, or I'm in the middle of 3 books. I've got Barack Obama's Promised Land. I have the David Baldacci, A Calamity of Souls, as well as I've been reading Wild by Cheryl Strayed. I may finish those in December. I may not. We'll just see. There are 3 Christmas books I'm confident that I am going to pick up and read. I am going to read actually the Nutcracker. I've seen the ballet a gazillion times, but I've not read the book. So I'm going to do that this Christmas. I'm also going to read Krista Davis's Not a Creature Was Purring. It's a cozy mystery with a cat, and it looks like a dog too. I'm totally about this, especially just having some lighthearted reading at the end of the year for Christmas. As well as I have this Aunt Sass, author of Mary Poppins. It's Christmas stories, so it's a small little book. Definitely going to get to that and just enjoy the holiday season. Now, here's the other deal. There were certain books that I had on my library cart that I really had kind of a priority TBR to work in during the year. And it's a pretty big stack. If you saw my thumbnail, I got quite a few books here. So what I'm asking now is kind of input and help with prioritizing, like which ones maybe I grab during the month if I have time in the last few weeks. I will be doing some traveling and have a couple days off, hopefully at some point during the season. Although I work for a church, so sometimes December is actually more busy work-wise. So here's what I have left in my pile, and if I don't get to them, they will stay on my library cart and join my books from November that I didn't get read and get worked in. So hopefully by the end of 2025 they'll all be read, but let me know if you've read any or what you're intrigued by and think I should bump up. So one is The Magician's Daughter. This is H.G. Pari. I love this author. It's always connected to books and to literature, but then having its own magical system or world or shift or characters coming out of books or whatnot. This one is set in Ireland, of an island that has been hidden by magic. So totally sounds like another lighthearted, fun, literary adventure kind of book. I am trying to become a Brian Sanderson completionist. So this one is the second or third, book 3. In the Skyward series. I think this is young adult slant. So Sensa is the character, and I really appreciate this kind of space but otherworld. It's kind of a little Star Wars-esque, if you will, but kind of teenagers, young adults adventure. And so that sounds kind of fun, right? Then I also have the next Jasper Fforde. This is Lost in a Good Book. This is the second one in the Jane Eyre affair. I loved the Eyre affair, Jane Eyre coming to life, and this is the second one. Which book does this focus on? Great Expectations and Pose the Raven. So Great Expectations and Pose the Raven is included in that coming to life characters. I also had pulled and prioritized H.G. Wells' The History of Mr. Polly. This was from a book call during the year, and I just love this little cover and book that I found at a used bookstore. It's not a very long book, sci-fi, but this one is less sci-fi than most of his other books. It's supposed to actually kind of have a mystical realism, and so I'm very intrigued by that. I also had prioritized from another book called The Traveling Cat Chronicles, because it's just such a lovely it's such a lovely cover, and I just think that again, short little comfort read is what I was getting the vibes from it. Don't really know much about it. Then there's a bunch of poetry that I really wanted to up my poetry game and hadn't got to. So here is a collected works of Dylan Thomas. So look forward to maybe getting to that short one, as well as I have a couple of these pocket books of poetry. So this is a book of multiple different authors and their most famous works. And then this one is Robert Frost, obviously, and it's just so gorgeous. And then I have two different versions of Maggie OFerrell's The Marriage Portrait. So I loved Hamnet, loved it. And I found both of these in used bookstores, but I needed them both because look at these covers. They're different, they're unique, they're beautiful. And so I wanted both copies. And I figured I wanted to keep it next to Hamnet on my bookshelf because I'm anticipating that I'm going to love this. But I actually don't know much about it or if I will or not. But hopefully I will because, I mean, just so pretty, y'all. Just so pretty. On my priority TBR for the year, I really keep on wanting to read Ruth Ware's The Turn of the Key. I read Turn of the Screw in preparation for this and just have never gotten to actually reading this one. Although I really do, I don't love everything Ruth Ware has written, but I have read several of her books that I really appreciate. And I'm really thinking I will appreciate this one because I read Henry James' Turn of the Screw. And then this one was a book of the month that I added on and have been really wanting to read after hearing great reviews about it. It's kind of that myth fantasy with a twist that has a continuing saga that just sounds magical and beautiful, and another one of those books that would probably be a great escape kind of story. And The Collected Regrets of Clover. Heard lots of great reviews about this when it came out. Basically somebody who's helping people kind of in hospice, kind of passing on, kind of making closure of the end of life. Not sure it's the right time in my life, but I think maybe it would be. I think this is maybe more along the lines of what I was hoping Wild would be for me. So let me know if you've read this. Is this actually a book that is good to read when you are actively grieving, or is it better to wait till you've gone through that process and read it? Really curious what people would think about that because I think quite a few of y'all have read that. So that was a lot. That's a lot of books. I know I'm not going to get all those read in the last 3 weeks of this calendar year, but what do you think I should read along with my fluffy little Christmas reads that honestly I can probably read those in a weekend? So let me know which of these other books I should prioritize and which ones are going to stay on my library cart and just kind of look at me and wink at me as I go through 2025's reading. So were there any books that you had on your TBR that you didn't get to that you're like hoping to get to by the end of the year? That's what I want to know in the comments below, as well as which of these or few of these do you think I should bump up. Thank you so much for your friendship, for your support, for taking the time to watch, and especially if you leave a comment. I just really try to answer every single one and just appreciate that interaction and sharing the love of books and the passion of escaping into entering the book. So take care, my beautiful friends. Happy reading, happy holidays. Talk to y'all soon.